It's a new day in Jefferson, and a new day for Kikkoman. We're one of the world's oldest food companies, and we're proud to be your newest neighbor. So in that spirit, allow us to introduce ourselves. Kikkoman began making soy sauce in Japan more than 3 centuries ago. Today, we're the world's leading soy sauce manufacturer. But what exactly is soy sauce? Well, for starters, it's one of the world's oldest condiments, and today, it's one of the most popular seasonings on the planet. Its familiar flavor is rich and complex, but its ingredients are surprisingly simple. We make Kikkoman soy sauce from just 4 carefully selected natural ingredients: water, soybeans, wheat, and salt. Our centuries-old traditional brewing process transforms those ingredients through fermentation, much like the way beer and wine are made. First, soybeans and wheat are combined under carefully controlled conditions, and Kikkoman aspergillus, a proprietary starter Kikkoman has used since its founding, is introduced to begin the fermentation process. After 3 days, this mash is mixed with salt and water, and then the mixture slowly ferments for months, until it's ready to be filtered, refined, and bottled. The final soy sauce product features more than 300 distinct aroma components and a harmonious balance of the 5 basic flavors: sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and umami. That's how we've always made our soy sauce, and it's how we'll be brewing it here in Jefferson. But what we make and how we make it is only part of who we are. The rest of the story is about the values we believe in. We started as a small family business, and centuries later, descendants of our founding families still run the company. That's why our values, like our brewing process, have never changed, and they never will. We believe in respect for tradition. We believe in slow, steady progress, working hard, working smart, and always working toward improvement. We believe in community, collaboration, and family. We believe in sustainability and respecting the environment. And it is with gratitude, affection, and pride that we add one more value to this list. We believe in Wisconsin. When we opened our soy sauce plant in Walworth, Wisconsin more than 50 years ago, it was one of the first major production facilities built by a Japanese company in the United States. We chose Walworth for its ready access to those 4 soy sauce ingredients: soybeans, wheat, salt, and pure local water. And we chose it for its people: hardworking, modest, loyal, can-do people. People who share our values. It was the best choice we could have made. Right from the start, we felt like family. The community, the people of Walworth, and the state of Wisconsin rolled up their sleeves, pitched in, and made us feel right at home. We worked together, enjoyed life together, and shared our successes together. And over the years, we've brought hundreds of jobs to Walworth County, participated in community initiatives, and donated millions of dollars in support of local high schools, universities, and causes. Walworth and the state of Wisconsin have welcomed us and supported us every step of the way. Wisconsin has been more than an ideal location for us. It's been home. In recent years, as demand for soy sauce continued to grow, we knew we needed to expand our production capabilities. So, we conducted a nationwide search to find the right location for a new production facility. We looked at 64 communities, and that extensive search brought us right back to what we already knew. There's no place like home. There's no place like Wisconsin. And we believe there's no better partner than Jefferson. Working closely with the community and the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation, we're investing over $500 million to build a 240,000 square foot production facility here in Jefferson. As the anchor tenant of the new 200-acre Jefferson Food and Beverage Innovation Park, Kikkoman Foods, Inc., or KFI, will create new jobs for Wisconsin. Our pristine new plant will feature state-of-the-art automation technology. It has been designed for flexibility and efficiency, and minimal carbon footprint and environmental impact. KFI will be an addition to Jefferson we know you'll be proud of. And just as you've already welcomed us so warmly, we look forward to welcoming you when we open our doors in 2026. Meanwhile, we thank our trusted business partners, contractors, and suppliers for their loyal support and collaboration. And we thank the people of Jefferson and its civic leaders, our new neighbors, our new colleagues, our partners in an exciting new era of prosperity and friendship. Together, we'll build a bright future for Jefferson, for Kikkoman, and for Wisconsin.
Horizons is our Voice of the Industry report. This is the fourth time we've done it for the food and beverage industry. This year we focused on the digitalization of the industry, so the use of digital technologies in food and beverage manufacturing. We surveyed over 300 food and beverage producers to see what their capital spending plans were.
They're looking for return on investment. They're looking for how to best use my capital dollars. How do I get the most out of the small pot of capital dollars that we have to spend, maximizing those on a day-to-day basis.
We were really surprised by the numbers. Within 3 years, about 3/4 of the industry anticipates being on a fully automated, fully integrated manufacturing model with predictive capabilities.
It enables our customers to integrate their operations and their enterprise, enabling operators to be equipped to make a decision at the plant floor without waiting for feedback necessary from the enterprise space. So the value is better visibility into your operations, increased efficiency, better turnover.
This means that almost half of the industry has to move significantly from where they are now up to that level of digitalization.
The data from these reports continues to be an invaluable resource.
Especially with what you hear in the market today. Everybody's talking about how hard it is to hire and retain people. So the data really surprised us. It should make the industry more robust and be able to produce what needs to be produced in the food and beverage market.
Digitalization sounds so futuristic, but it's not what's going to happen. It's really what's happening now.
Yeah, to prepare for the future, we need to be thinking about this data now.
I grew up on a family farm, and I just couldn't wait to get up in the morning to go be with the cattle. 2013, my farm burnt down, and so we tried to build back. It took 2 years to build back, and we thought, from the literature, we were told these robotic milkers was the way to go with all the labor we could save. But when we got into it, there was no labor saved.
We looked at two options, the parlor and tunnel ventilation barn, and we went and looked at a couple of robots and kind of got talked into putting in robots, and we did 5 D-Level robots, and they just haven't been working very good for us. And now we're 4.5 years in, and the main goal is feed the cows, keep the cows healthy, and milk cows, and we can't get them milked. It's really frustrating.
And it's such a downfall to go through all this expense. Built a special barn just the way D-Level wanted it for these robots to operate, and everything was supposed to work. But now we're trying to survive.
They put these robots in and everything went south. Everything went wrong on the farm because the robots didn't perform as they were supposed to. They didn't work. They didn't work right. They didn't milk the cows right. They cost too much to operate. And it just snowballs for these farms. It was supposed to be a labor saver, and it takes more labor.
This case involves farmers in the dairy industry that have purchased robotic milkers that do not perform as represented. It has having a significant impact on their bottom line. It's reducing the production, milk production on their farms. It is causing health issues with their cows, and it's impacting the quality of their milk.
Growing up on a farm, I always enjoyed working with my parents and family. So my parents taught me this deep reverence and appreciation for growing up on a farm because that was part of our family heritage, our survival. And I think that's carried on through to my son, this deep appreciation for the farm. When I went to law school, I went with the intention of working with farmers when I graduated, and that's what I've done. I enjoy working with farmers and I enjoy farming. And it all kind of comes through with bringing that passion, not only to my farm, but to my farmers' cases.
Our firm has a long history in handling cases in the agricultural sector. Farmers are the backbone of our country. And so when I have the privilege to represent them, I take it. Probably the most important case that I've worked on over the last 30 years has been our case on behalf of U.S. corn farmers. That case ultimately resulted in the largest settlement in U.S. agricultural history, $1.51 billion settlement. So we had some significant legal challenges that we were able to overcome. And so that made our case that much more risky, but we believed in our case. And most importantly, we believed that this was an important case we had to bring on behalf of U.S. farmers.
In all our failed robotic milker cases, we're representing the farmers on a contingency fee basis. What that means is we're in it together.
So our interests are completely aligned with our farmers' interests, and we're not going to recommend that the farmer pursue the claim unless we think we can win it for them.
Before we built this barn, we were profitable, and now we can't even break even. I wish they were honest from the get-go. The maintenance is crazy. Can't afford it. I got 2 daughters and a boy. I'd like to pass it on someday.
We love the farm life. It's the only life I know, really.
Welcome to Stream HQ. Today we are reviewing the Sidekick, a versatile side access point of view solids interceptor. Common applications for the Sidekick include dog wash and pet kennels, art room sinks, barbershops and hair salons, commercial kitchen sinks, and utility sinks. The Sidekick was designed with 2 common pain points in mind: space restrictions and the burden of cleaning and maintenance. Let's see how it works. The housing is constructed of PVC, while the strainer basket is clear polycarbonate. A clear basket allows the user to quickly inspect the unit for solids accumulation without having to begin the maintenance process. The basket is 1 part and is removed by a simple quarter turn. When reinserting the basket, a notch was designed to the back plate that guarantees a correct orientation every time. The handle is outside of the solids accumulation area to avoid messy maintenance. The top inlet and 3 optional outlets are 2-inch socket connections. Included with each Sidekick are two 2x1.5 adapters, 2 plugs for each unused outlet, and one 2x1.5 NPS threaded adapter for a sturdy connection to the strainer basket tailpiece. The Sidekick is lifetime guaranteed, UPC listed, and ships in 3 days. For Revit, CAD, and install guide details, visit streamco.com.
Their eyes and their whole face lights up.
Yeah. Go ahead and try them on for me.
Okay, I see something that I don't get used to.
That's the magic moment, right? That is so special.
Much different, right?
Yeah.
You try them on. Tell them what you think.
It's good.
So I'm pleased to be working with Fidelity Security Life and the One Site Essilor Luxottica Foundation. And we are putting on what is the 15th clinic that FSL has had a hand in. And this is our 14th clinic in Kansas City, right here. We're so blessed to be working with KCU, the school.
This opportunity allows us to bring the resource here. And we bring the kids here, and then they get a full eye exam and their glasses all on the spot. So it's a really, I always say it's like closing the loop.
Good.
Yeah, you're gonna use those cool glasses in a bit.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
Yeah? Can you see better?
Yeah.
Ooh, my favorite part is right behind me. Watching a child have their glasses fitted onto their face and then just watching their reaction to their environment.
Oh, wow.
I see 2 bottles.
Do they look great?
Yeah.
Because think about it, it's the first time for many of these kids that they're seeing the world in all its beauty the way they should see it.
The clinic is really important, we think, for all the young kids especially that are coming in that are a little trepidatious, a little afraid of like what's happening, and to really kind of watch them just kind of ease them through the process.
Do you know your letters, or do you want to look at shapes? Do you want to do shapes
Go
on that?
through the acuity test, all the color test, all the exams. It takes a caring hand, you know?
What shape do you see there? Good.
And so that part is really special. So we get to kind of coach them through that process and tell them everything's going to be all right.
Right here, okay, bud? All right, hop right up.
Over 90% of them are going to have glasses right here today and go home back on that bus, get back over to school, and see the world in a whole different light.
Welcome to Stream HQ. Today we are reviewing the Sidekick, a versatile side access point of view solids interceptor. Common applications for the Sidekick include dog wash and pet kennels, art room sinks, barbershops and hair salons, commercial kitchen sinks, and utility sinks. The Sidekick was designed with two common pain points in mind: space restrictions and the burden of cleaning and maintenance. Let's see how it works. The housing is constructed of PVC, while the strainer basket is clear polycarbonate. A clear basket allows the user to quickly inspect the unit for solids accumulation without having to begin the maintenance process. The basket is one part and is removed by a simple quarter turn. When reinserting the basket, a notch was designed to the back plate that guarantees a correct orientation every time. The handle is outside of the solids accumulation area to avoid messy maintenance. The top inlet and 3 optional outlets are 2-inch socket connections. Included with each Sidekick are 2 by 1.5 adapters, 2 plugs for each unused outlet, and 1 2 by 1.5 NPS threaded adapter for a sturdy connection to the strainer basket tailpiece. The Sidekick is lifetime guaranteed, UPC listed, and ships in 3 days. For Revit, CAD, and install guide details, visit streamco.com.
I am Kevin Lee Chrisman, Police Chief, Parkville, Missouri. Good officer has to have high integrity, be honest, not afraid to make a mistake, and I think it starts at the top from leadership. We are part of the fabric here, and we are a strong piece of that fabric. It's all about the community policing philosophy. I'm a very strong advocate of that, and it starts with waving to people. We are law enforcement, but I will tell you that throughout a day, throughout a week, it is more about social issues, concerns. It's about being approachable.
My name is Linda Arnold. Parkville is a great place to raise a family. I've been here over 42 years. I have 2 great kids. We're fortunate we do have that small town feeling. I think our community really respects what our officers do.
My name is Jim McCall. I was born in Parkville and been a resident here for 66 years. I've always been very proud of our police here. I know that extremely important with the low level of crime that they have created here in Parkville, and they've been able to keep our community safe. And as a small business owner, that was so much appreciated.
We are the ambassadors to the city. We're the first people that most of them see. We're easily identifiable because we wear a uniform. And so it's important that we send the right message.
My name is Allison Berberick. I am an alderman for the Board of Aldermen for the City of Parkville. I think this is a great place to be a police officer. Parkville is low crime, but there's a lot of growth. So there's a lot of new people, there's a lot of action, a lot of things going on.
It is all about building relationships and trust because we pride ourselves in being highly proactive and interactive with our community. So my message is this simply: Parkville is a great place for anyone who's interested in law enforcement, whether it's you're new or you're seasoned and want to do police work, but yet be able to interact with the community and build relationships.
Not everyone can climb a ladder or spend all day on an uneven surface climbing to new heights. That's why God created a roofer, someone who gets up before the morning light, works all day in the hot sun or bitter wind, and still makes it home in time to catch the kids' ball game. That's why God created a roofer, the kind of person who is most at home with a hammer in their hand and love in their heart. They believe that a team can do just about anything. That's a Shamrock roofer.
You have a new middle school, high school, or higher education project in the works, and you're tasked with specifying, installing, or purchasing a neutralization tank for the lab sinks. Our Lab Rat series has you covered with an under-counter, point-of-use solution. Let's touch on this series to see what value Stream can add to your next project. Let's use the LB2 to demonstrate. The inlet and outlet are 2-inch female pipe thread connections with a built-in optional top inlet. Included with each tank are two 2x1.5 inch threaded adapters should your piping system require 1.5 inch connections. Also included with each tank is a plug to cap your unused inlet. To remove the cover for monitoring or maintenance, unscrew the hand-threaded captive hardware. Captive hardware means maintenance staff will never lose the bolts, helping to ensure the tank is always sealed. On the bottom of the tank, we designed a 4-inch cylindrical opening should the plumber ever need to suspend the unit in the cabinet. All that is needed is a 4-inch piece of PVC pipe, cut to size by others. Let's go back to the value the Lab Rat series can add to your next project. This series is priced right, 100% made in the USA, lifetime guaranteed, and ships in 3 days or sooner. The best part? It's one of only 3 product groups that we manufacture. We love focus, so much so that we guarantee a human and 1 ring next time you call in. Give the Lab Rat series a shot on your next project.
whenever we're told it's going to be a boring year, that's when surprises often come.
273,000 jobs created in February, Maria, 273,000. And with that, the unemployment rate ticked down slightly to 3.5%.
Another record-setting day on Wall Street. You look at valuations.
The housing market is a mix of highs and lows. So here's what to watch.
Spike in coronavirus cases and fatalities tonight around the world, and the new cases in Oregon, Rhode Island, Chicago, and Seattle.
And there are fears that the Dow will drop and drop quickly, and we're already seeing that.
The coronavirus pandemic has left millions of Americans out of work, and just this morning, the Labor Department is out with jaw-dropping new numbers.
20.5 million, a job loss of 20.5 million. The unemployment rate rises to 14.7%.
Where the White House and Congress reached a deal early this morning on the economic rescue package that dwarfs the entire national budget of the United States. The stock market soared on hopes for the legislation, its best days.
And it appears to be a stunner. Unemployment rate falling to 13.3%.
Pending home sales in May jumped a remarkable 44.3% month to month.
The relaxation of those orders can get you a fairly quick snapback in activity, and that snapback has been even a little larger than most economists had anticipated.
Honestly, the recovery that we've seen in May and now into June has been just frankly remarkable.
Fear. It's a basic, truly primal instinct. Proof? The way most of us feel right now.
As restrictions are imposed, you see a spike in anxiety.
The coronavirus is pushing people toward lifestyle changes.
From the Purdue family to the people who bring food to all our families, thank you.
Okay, role play. Jamie, Mara's the customer.
Excuse me, would you be interested in bundling your home and auto with Progressive?
No.
There are a lot of recreational sports out there, but few can comply with the social distancing guidelines like golf can.
But golfers are still teeing up.
A big win for Massachusetts golfers today as courses across the state finally opened back up after being closed for the coronavirus pandemic.
Today is 2-for-1 day. First, we're going to review our new sample port, the inspector, and then we're going to get a live look of how an oil separator works. The setup here on our R&D rig is pretty simple. First, we're going to get a sample of the oily wastewater before the separator. Then we're going to get a live look of the flow characteristics of oil and water. And lastly, we're going to take a sample of the downstream inspector following the tank. So let's get to work. Upstream, we are flowing 25 GPM. In the middle of that pipe, we are injecting or adding 5,000 parts per million of oil. So let's go ahead and take that sample from the upstream inspector. On the inlet side of the inspector, we've brought in the geometry of the sample port to accelerate the flow, and we've also added a drop or a half-inch fall to make sample taking easier. Next, the oily wastewater will flow through the oil separator. Now, the job of the oil separator is to separate and retain oil to prevent that oil from flowing to the sanitary sewer system. As oil enters the tank, our diffusion flow technology helps calm the influent water, creating laminar flow. Oil, being lighter than water, rises quickly towards the surface. The outlet diffuser allows the oil layer to build down, resulting in water only leaving the tank. Now, let's take a sample of the downstream inspector to see how we did. What more proof do you need?
Hi, this is Garen Armstrong with Shamrock Roofing and Construction, and today we're helping Cars for Christmas. We're giving away 20 cars to first responders and veterans. It takes a village out here. We got all the Shamrockers here to help give away the cars. Yeah. So let's give away some cars.
It's running smooth. It only took us 25 years.
Yeah, this is the man that makes everything happen. He's the one.
Cars for Heroes here.
We've got 20 families that we brought down this morning that we're going to help out with free transportation. Nobody's winning the lottery. We just take in old cars, we fix them up, make sure they're mechanically sound, and hopefully helps them improve their own lives.
Thank you, Shamrock. Yes, indeed. Feeling the spirit this morning. We are live at the Argosy Hotel and Casino. Lots of helper elves are here joining us. One of those helper elves that you hear with us during our Military Mondays throughout the entire year is the owner of Shamrock Roofing. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Garen Armstrong. Welcome, sir.
Hey, thank you, Slacker. It's great to be here.
We've done this many, many years now through the holidays. Of course, you're on the show when we talk about delivering. You do roofs for veterans, but this is just part of what you and your company's mantra is, giving back to the community.
Absolutely. It takes a village to help with Cars for Christmas, and giving away 20 cars. 3 days ago we got all our Shamrockers and we're meeting at the lot, caravanning 20 cars down here, getting them ready to cleaned up and given away, and it just giving back to the community. It's always great to be a part of and see, and then the cars are filled full of food with from Rex and everybody, and so it's just really great what Car Santa has put together here, and Shamrock Roofing is glad to be able to contribute any way we can.
Garen and I go back a long ways. We were both in the car business together years ago, and as he developed his roofing business, he wanted to do something, so we kind of thought, well, we could do the same thing with Shamrock that we do with cars, but do it with roofs. So little by little, we're growing. It'll take a while, but we're working on it.
Well, Garen and I met actually at this event, so just over the last 4 or 5 years, and it's been really interesting to see the community of people that's developed out of this whole thing, and that network just continues to grow, just people helping people, and he's doing an incredible thing with helping people with the roof that need it.
This is Slacker with Garen Armstrong at Shamrock Roofing as we continue on 101 The Fox.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Engineers often ask us, how do we know when to pump out an oil separator? Stream's solution to this is our Slick Stick oil level monitoring system. It consists of 2 primary components: a UL-listed control panel that can be connected directly to the building automation system, and a float switch that gets installed directly inside of the oil separator. The float switch can be extended downward through our riser system by a 1/2-inch PVC pipe, and the interface floats in water but sinks in oil. So let's demonstrate this. To simulate an oil separator, what we have here is a jar of motor oil and water. To demonstrate the float function, what we're going to do is submerge the float in the water layer, which is typically at the bottom of an oil separator. Over time, as the oil layer builds down from the top inside of an oil separator, it will eventually surpass that float. Once it does, it will alarm your control panel, thus telling your facilities owner when to pump out the oil separator.
Not everyone can climb a ladder or spend all day on an uneven surface climbing to new heights. That's why God created a roofer. One who loves the outdoors and working with their hands. And that feeling of accomplishment at the end of the day, putting a roof over your head. That's why God created a roofer. Someone who gets up before the morning light, works all day in the hot sun or bitter wind, and still makes it home in time to catch the kids' ball game. That's why God created a roofer. The kind of person who doesn't own a suit or tie, who feels trapped in an office, who is most at home with a hammer in their hands and love in their heart. They believe that a team can do just about anything. That's a Shamrock roofer.
Hey, it's Zach here with Shamrock Roofing. As recruiting manager, I get a lot of questions about our hiring process, and more specifically, why are we always hiring? Well, there is a simple answer to that question. Shamrock is growing. Within the last year, we have opened 3 new locations, now serving 16 cities across the Midwest. With increasing demand comes the opportunity to hire more project managers, as well as new office employees. Our employees find great satisfaction in their jobs, and for some, it has completely changed their lives. So if you want to be a part of a team that values quality, professionalism, honesty, and community, apply today. Check out below for more information about our hiring process and reach out.
Attention, Texas! Don't miss your last chance to get covered by insurance from the 2024 storm season. Time is running out. Don't wait. Call Royal Roofing today at 832-262-5789 or visit royalroofingoftexas.com.
What's up, Houston metropolitan area? It's Heather with Royal Roofing. Listen, the storms have been hitting us like crazy. If you have not had a roofer come out and inspect your home lately, please give us an opportunity. Hurricane season is upon us, and it is really important that you know the current state of your health from someone who has integrity. You can call at 832-262-5789 or book straight from our website, royalroofingoftexas.com. Thanks and God bless.
Greetings, everyone. As we gather with our friends and loved ones over the next couple of weeks to celebrate the holiday season, I just wanted to take a minute to share a couple of items with each of you. First, I want to thank every one of you again and congratulate each of you on a truly remarkable 2024. In addition to record sales and earnings, which is pretty cool, we eclipsed $300 million in total sales, which is really a very incredible milestone. None of this could have happened without the flexibility, innovation, dedication, and commitment to excellence that every one of you demonstrate every day, all year long. So my sincerest thanks to each of you for making it happen. Certainly this year won't be without its challenges. We all know there's a lot of work ahead of us. But this group of employee owners has proven time and time again that working together, we can achieve anything we set our sights on. I am more confident than ever that this team is going to continue to overcome the challenges and obstacles we encounter and create even greater successes over the next 75 years as an ESOP company. Secondly, I just want to extend my very best wishes to each of you and your families for a healthy, happy, and most wonderful holiday season. And certainly, I hope everybody gets some well-deserved rest and relaxation over the holidays. I know I'm certainly looking forward to that. Thanks, and again, have a wonderful holiday.
Welcome to the Oklahoma City Contractor Orientation. At Cameron, we are committed to the health and well-being of our employees and contractors. As we continue to navigate through the COVID pandemic, several steps have been put in place to reduce the risk of workplace exposure. Face coverings must be worn at all times when on site. Face coverings will be worn in conjunction with all other site-specific PPE requirements. Physical distancing practices shall be used as much as possible. Avoid any unnecessary contact with others. If in-person meetings are required for the scope of work, please keep these as short as possible. Maintain proper health and hygiene practices. Hand sanitizing stations are widely available throughout the plant. Refrain from sharing tools and equipment. If sharing cannot be eliminated, clean and disinfect between uses. Anyone who is unwilling to comply with these requirements will not be allowed on site or will be asked to leave the premises. Please do your part in keeping everyone safe. OSHA's Voluntary Protection Program, or VPP, was established to promote the reduction of injuries in the workplace through cooperative efforts of management, labor, and government. We take our safety seriously. In fact, in Oklahoma City, we have passed 4 consecutive voluntary protection audits. We expect all contractors to abide by OSHA and Schlumberger safety standards. Cameron has invested heavily in the facility to ensure we maintain a safe work environment for all employees, contractors, and visitors. However, a safe work environment cannot happen unless everybody is on board and shares the same mindset and goals. From an HSE perspective, we rely on our employees and contractors to be the eyes and ears on the manufacturing floor. Please bring any concerns you may have to HSE so they can be further investigated. Safety is everyone's responsibility. Muster points and storm shelters. Please familiarize yourself with your work environment. Hazards exist in all areas of the facility. No matter where you may be working, you'll be close to an emergency exit and storm shelter. All exits and storm shelters are marked appropriately. If an emergency or drill were to happen, specific alerts will be broadcast over the PA system. You will be expected to comply with any instructions being communicated. Safely stop your work activity and report to the nearest muster point or storm shelter. At Cameron, we care about contractors because we are responsible for all contractors while on site. Unsafe acts will not be tolerated and may lead to a contractor being permanently banned from site. Safety is a shared responsibility. A contractor's responsibilities while on site are to follow HSE program and site rules, ensure the safety of all employees, contractors, and property, avoid creating additional hazards, to use the right tool for the job, and clean up work areas at the end of day. Cameron's responsibilities to contractors are to communicate emergency procedures, hazards, and chemicals used in the workplace, respond to all unsafe work conditions, and exercise the Stop Work Authority. Training expectations. In this orientation, we will provide you with site-specific safety training. All contractors must be trained and must possess a valid license before operating equipment. Hazards exist in all forms. Notable hazards at this location include working at height, powered tools, electricity, forklifts. Pre-work requirements. All contractors must check in prior to starting any work. Reverse parking will be observed. The only exception is Southeast 29th Street. Additionally, service provider badges will be provided at the request of the project manager. Badges must be turned in at the end of the job. A safety orientation sticker must be affixed to hard hat for entry. Any contractor without an orientation sticker will not be allowed to work on site. Each contractor must sign an acknowledgement of the site safety rules and responsibilities. Dress code and personal conduct. All contractors must adhere to Cameron dress code standards. No sleeveless shirts, no shorts, no loose or excessively oversized garments, and dress appropriately for work within an industrial environment. Acts and behaviors that must be observed while working on site include refraining from obscene or abusive language. Additionally, Cameron has a zero-tolerance policy on any racial, gender, ethnic, or sexual slurs. Facility property must remain on site unless explicit authorization is granted. No illegal or controlled substances are allowed on property. The use of mobile phones are prohibited while operating equipment. We reserve the right to stop work and remove individuals who do not comply with this policy. PPE requirements. PPE will be worn at all times while on property. The minimum PPE requirements are safety glasses, safety footwear, cut-resistant impact gloves, hard hat, and high-vis vest or high-vis clothing. Any grinding or buffing operations will require a face shield and FR clothing. Fall protection must be worn when on or operating any aerial lifts. PPE secondary protection. Some locations may require additional PPE and protective equipment. This may include hearing protection for activity over 85 decibels, an OSHA requirement. This PPE is available in HSE clinic. Respiratory protection will be used only when there are no engineered or administrative controls. Contractors are responsible for ensuring their workers have the proper training for respirators. Working at height. Contractors are responsible for providing their own fall protection. All height-required protection must be properly worn for any activity greater than 4 feet. This does not apply to ladders. Barricades, safety cones, or a spotter must be used when using an aerial lift. Finally, please reduce the number of tools used while working at height. Hazard communication. When working with hazardous materials, a safety data sheet, or SDS, is required. All hazardous chemicals brought on site must be reported to the project manager and/or HSE. Cameron will provide an SDS upon request for any chemical, hazardous materials stored at the facility. Additionally, all chemicals must be properly labeled before use as required by GHS and must contain a chemical name, signal word, hazard statement, precautionary statement, manufacturer info, and pictograms. Environmental waste disposal. All waste generated on site must be properly disposed. Cameron will dispose of all hazardous waste generated on site. Contractors are responsible for the disposal of any trash and debris that is generated. Never throw any hazardous material or metal in the plant trash. All metal to be placed in scrap containers. Containers and drums must remain sealed unless in use. Report any spills to HSE or your Cameron representative. When disposing of aerosol cans, all cans must be drained and punctured prior to disposal. Puncture stations are strategically located across the plant. Contact your Cameron representative with any questions. Incident reporting. As previously mentioned, all incidents must be reported immediately to your Cameron representative or HSE. An incident is if any of the following occur: personal injury, first aids, near accidents, asset damage, unsafe acts. Contractors must cooperate with any investigation that results from a workplace incident. Failure to report an incident will result in a ban from the facility. Hand tools and machine guarding. Contractors will ensure that all machine guards are in place. Removing or modifying guards is forbidden. It is illegal to bypass or defeat safety switches. Any contractor found to be operating equipment in a bypass state will be removed from the facility. All hand and power tools must be inspected daily, and tools will be used only for their designed purpose. Hot work permits. Before any grinding, welding, brazing, or soldering activities start, a hot work permit must be filled out and posted. Please contact maintenance and your Cameron representative prior to any hot work activity. Hot work will only be performed in designated areas by qualified personnel. The area will be inspected by HSE prior to start. Adequate shielding must be used in the area. A fire extinguisher must be within 10 feet of hot work activity. A fire watch must be maintained for at least 1 hour after the work has been completed. Electrical and lockout tagout. All electrical work performed on site will be performed by a trained maintenance personnel or authorized contractors. Any deviation from this must be approved by Cameron management and maintenance personnel. The facility requirements for lockout tagout or LOTO are: you must have proper training and authorization from your employer. Contractor must use Cameron-provided lockout on all LOTO situations. Cameron maintenance personnel will control and place LOTO on equipment devices. And you must abide by all OSHA guidelines. Powered industrial equipment. Powered industrial equipment such as forklifts, scissor lifts, and boom lifts shall be operated by only trained operators. Your employer is responsible for providing training. All contractors must be able to provide proof of training in order to operate equipment on site. Modified powered industrial equipment will not be allowed on site. If specialized equipment is required for the job, please inform your Cameron representative and HSE. Scissor lifts are prohibited from traveling up, down facility ramps. Thank you for completing the Cameron HSE contractor orientation. Before work can start, the HSE site orientation form must be acknowledged by all parties in your group. Please see your Cameron representative or HSE for this form. Stay safe.
Once upon a time, there was a man named Mayor Sly James. He really liked to wear bow ties.
One day, Sly became the boss of the city. Everybody called him the mayor.
Mayor Sly made Kansas City a great place to live, especially for kids.
When Mayor Sly learned that a lot of third graders couldn't read, he said, "This is a big problem.
We have to do something right now." So he started Turn the Page KC. Turn the Page made sure all of us kids were showing up to kindergarten ready to learn. And that we went to school every day. And that we'd keep reading over the summer even when we weren't in school.
Mayor Sly came to lots of schools and read to lots of kids.
And he told us some pretty crazy stuff. He said that there are sharks in the fountains and that they eat barbecue.
He also gave our schools lots and lots of books.
Because of Mayor Sly and Turn the Page, more kids are reading. Mayor Sly worked hard for us.
Thank you, Mayor Sly.
Thank you, Mayor Sly.
Thank you, Mayor Sly.
Thank you, Mayor Sly. Thank you, Mayor Sly.
Thank you, Mayor Sly.